Let us now take another sutram which is used to derive only a single pratipadikam. This sutram is Hanascha Vadaha. 3376, and the vritti says Anupasarga dhanter bhave up syad vadadesha shanto dattaha. The anuvritti of bhave as well as anupasargasya is coming from the prior sutram 3375 into this sutram 3376. So the affix up prescribed by this sutram can only be used in the sense of bhave. Bhave means to denote the sense of the verbal root as having attained to a completed state, means the action of killing. And of course this sutram only applies in the case of a single verbal root, which is the verbal root han. Hana himsagatyoho from the adadigana. It is the second verbal root in the adadigana. The condition here is anupasarge, which is anuvritti from the prior sutram. So this sutram 3376 may only be used when the dhatu han does not have upasarga with it. And the sutram prescribes not only the affix up, but simultaneously, along with the affix up, simultaneously, when the affix up comes in, the verbal root han takes the adesha, the substitution vadha. So the entire verbal root han is replaced by vadha, because vadha is anekala adesha. So by 1155, anekal sarvasya, the entire verbal root han is replaced by vadha. And one more detail here is that this vadha substitution has a udatta svaraha, udattaha accent on its final vowel. That is not important to us because in the classical language, as we know, there are no accents. So we can ignore that part for the time being. It is only relevant in the Veda where they have accents. But for us, we can ignore the last part about having a udatta svaraha on its final vowel, because in the classical language there are no accents. The sutram also contains a cha, hanascha vadaha. The vritti says chad gai. So the mention of cha by Panini in this sutram tells us that we can optionally also use the affix gai by 3318 itself. So total meaning now becomes to denote the sense verbal root as having attained to a completed state. The affix up may be used following the verbal root han, hana himsagatyoho, when it is not in conjunction with the upasargaha, and simultaneously the verbal root takes the substitution vadha. So the example here is hananam vadaha athava ghataha. So in the case where the affix up is used, the verbal root han takes the vadha adeshaha, and we get vadha plus up. By this sutram 3376, Anubandha lopaha pakarasid sanya bhalantyam tasya lopaha, we get vadha plus a, and then we apply ato lopaha because this affix up has a sanya of ardhadhatukam. By ardhadhatukam sheshaha 34114. So we remove the ending akara of vadha. That akara takes lopaha by ato lopaha 6448, and we get vadha, and then vadha gets the pratipadika sanya by krit taditha samasascha 1 to 46, declined like Rama Shabdaha. Now chad ghai means the mention of cha by Panini in the sutram implies that we can use the affix ghai also in the same meaning. So hananam ghataha. So in this case, the verbal root han does not take the vadha adesha. It remains as han. We get han plus ghai by 3318. Anubandha lopaha as usual. Nyakarasit sanya bhalantyam. Ghakarasit sanya by shakvatadite tasya lopaha. We get han a. And now we apply ho hanter nyineshu to replace the hakaraha by the kavarga ghakaraha, and we get ghan a. And after that we apply hanasto chinnaloho 7332. Hanasto chinnaloho. The ending nakara of the verbal root han is replaced by a takaraha and followed by a pratyaha other than chin or null, which is either nyit, which is what we have right now. We have the affix ghai, or a nit. So by 7332 we replace that ending nakara of han by a takaraha, so we get ghat, and finally we apply at upadhayaha because this affix ghai is a nyet. So the penultimate akara of ghat takes the vridyadeshaha. So we get ghat, we get the pratipadika sanya vakrit, that is the samasascha. So we have two forms. These are both bhave, the action, the act of killing. So hananam vadaha athava ghataha. Now one thing important here is that there should be no upasargaha. Then only the sutram 3376 applies. But if there is upasargaha, then we have to use the affix ghai. So anupasargasyetyeva, anupasargasya iti eva. praghataha. So if there is a upasarga such as pra, and even if the sense is bhave, still we cannot use this affix up because the Sutram 3376 mandates that there should be no upasarga present. So in this case, we have to only use the affix going by 3318 and get the form praghataha.